You are the VP of Strategic Partnerships.
Our customers are our priority, and our even bigger priority is our customers' customers. We work with our product teams to already create a feature that we see becoming a problem 6 months from now. We're actually trying to use AI more responsibly within our channels.
Value First offers multiple channels to reach customers.
There's been a generational shift. I call ourselves as a postman, ease of integration and access. That's where multi-channel comes in. Marketing is not only about making someone click on an ad. Marketing is actually about inspiring people.
Welcome to today's episode of Rising Sharjah, where we uncover the stories behind people driving the world's most successful companies. We're thrilled to have Shoury Gupta, Vice President Marketing and Strategic Partnerships at Value First, joining us to dive into how their technology enhances the way businesses connect with their consumers. Thank you for joining us today, Shoury.
It's my pleasure, Afreen. Thank you so much for having me.
To start off, could you tell us about Value First? What does the company do?
Awesome. That's my favorite question. So essentially, we're a bridge between businesses and their consumers. We help both of them talk to each other through different channels. Now, let's say an SMS wherein you need to inform your consumer about this electricity bill as an example, or through an email in which a bank statement has to go, a chatbot in which you want to enable a two-way conversation. I want to ask my e-commerce company the status of my order. So essentially, different ways of having conversations between businesses and consumers is what we power. I call ourselves as a postman in the sense that we take the letter or the message from the company and deliver it to their user in a safe and sound manner. So yes, that's what we're about.
That's amazing how you've simplified it in such a nice way. Communication platform as a service. If you say CPaaS is a little difficult to understand, but yeah, you're essentially like a postman who makes sure that the customer gets the message. That's amazing. Tell me about the inception story. You were founded way back in 2003. How has Value First evolved over the years?
2003 is a great story of just 14 odd people coming together with an idea to create one of the first platforms in the country to send out SMSs to people, like not from businesses to people, but from people to people. That's what Value First was the original idea about. And from there to 21 odd years, we've actually evolved like an adult does when he or she becomes 21. Create like starting out of Delhi NCR, then going to Mumbai, other cities of India, then setting up a Dubai practice about 15 odd years ago, expanding more in the region, having more businesses to work with in Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, even in other parts of the Middle East where we've got big operations in Saudi as well. And what's actually been constant is the idea of connecting business and consumers. And we've just ended up evolving a lot. For example, SMS, right? Like we look at it as 152 character message in which you can just send promotional, transactional or authentication messaging. But we've just tried to evolve slowly and steadily. Okay, let's take an example. You forget your Gmail password, right? And you want a OTP on the phone. You get an OTP, but there's also a message which says that in case this message is fraudulent, please report here. So instead of having that 36 character long link, you can actually shorten it so that A, you don't pay extra for the second SMS, and B, the user doesn't feel weird about that link.
Yeah.
So a very short service like short URL, you just implement it. And the reason I'm actually using this example is to actually tell you how we've stuck with our own channels that we started with and actually optimize them, innovated within them to still make sure that what SMS has been in the market for 30 years, it's still one of the most important channels. Similarly, newer channels such as WhatsApp that have come on, two-way on WhatsApp. We're just making sure that we're using our learning from earlier on platforms such as this. So yeah, I mean, it's been a great journey and many more years to look forward to.
Which brings me to a question about multiple channels. So Value First offers multiple channels for to reach customers, like SMS, RCS, email, WhatsApp. Can you tell our audiences the benefits of using a multi-channel communication approach?
Essentially, let's imagine a classroom. There are 40 students in a classroom. Everyone's from a different walk of life. Someone's a male, someone's a female, different demographics we can go through. Everyone has very different needs now. Like someone might like math, someone might like English, someone might like another language. I can't be teaching them the same thing. They have different goals, they have different problems. So I think that's where multi-channel comes in, like a similar example in our CPaaS industry, as you defined as well in the beginning. Shoury is one consumer of mine who's more prone to checking his emails and replying to me. So is it actually a good idea to use WhatsApp or a SMS on Shoury? Probably not. I'm not only wasting money by doing that, but also disturbing him, like almost coming across as a spammy brand, which Shoury otherwise has trusted. Step one, it's very important to understand which particular channel is my user reacting the most towards. And actually just making sure that that's the only bridge I have with him or her for them to talk to me and for me to talk to them. I think that's what multi-channel. It's also smart marketing, automation, whatever. Like hundreds of words out there.
Yes, multiple touch points.
Precisely. So it's just talking to them the way they want you to talk to them. That's what it is.
Coming to the buzzword of, you can say 2023, 2024 AI. How is value first? If and how is value first harnessing the power of AI and its technologies?
Super interesting, but I think what we realized right when the word artificial intelligence stuck by is that A stands for a very critical full form, artificial, which essentially means that you have to put in the efforts to teach it, train it, etc.
Right.
Again, as I said, we've stuck to our channels, and this is what exactly we did again. So we embedded AI and now Gen AI capabilities into all these channels. I'll give you some examples, right? We worked with one of this big hospital, and their idea was very simple, that a lot of our call centers are flooded by calls about getting appointments. The people email us, people put it on social media also. So we want to make it easier. We put this on a WhatsApp chatbot, which is a pretty straightforward solution everyone can understand. But where is the AI in this? A layman might not know that what a heart doctor is called. He or she might not know it's called a cardiologist.
Right.
So when searching for a doctor, instead of writing in the most technical words, you write whatever you want to write. Even write it in the local language. Describe your symptoms. We'll try and understand basis our AI, which is actually a library of training that we've given with respect to keywords, and give you the best doctor suggestion. Go forward, book your appointment, and meet the doctor. Another quick example. So marketers are great when they use channels, but there can also be other elements in the society who use channels for spamming and scamming, right? So we actually embedded AI engines within our messaging platforms. What that essentially means is within 50 milliseconds, our platform's going to try and understand what are the contents of your message. We're not sharing your information with anyone, but it's an engine that's seeing. If there's a link, it will open it and see it. If it's a safe link, if all the user privacy is taken care of or not. If yes, let you go and the message will be received by a user. If not, we'll block the message right there and then. So we're actually trying to use AI more responsibly within our channels.
Yeah, and improving security as well.
100%. So security, privacy, these are the two biggest things we've tried to implement AI for.
You are the VP of Strategic Partnerships. Can you tell us what is your approach towards partnerships, and could you give us some examples of the most powerful partnerships you've implemented at Value First?
Our customers are our priority, and our even bigger priority is our customers. So the enterprise and the user, the end user, people like us who are receiving messages and speaking back to our enterprises for. So essentially, the very ethos of partnership was the fact that can I go out and find complementary companies who are doing stuff, if not very similar, but something for me to enough at least do a handshake with them. So let's take an example. Most of my buyers are chief marketing officers of an organization, chief digital officers of an organization, chief information officers. So they're playing with information, they're playing with marketing, right? I know for a fact that my platform is another dashboard for them, in the sense that there's another username and password where they have to plug in and go to another. So it's not the best of experiences. So what we started doing is we started looking at marketing automation platforms. We started looking at CRMs. And if our application can actually be natively available there. So essentially, I'm still doing business, but I'm not letting my customer change his or her platform just because of a company called Value First. Right. If you're using the world's biggest CRM as an example, I'm already a part there. So that's to do with a lot of technology sort of partnerships. Then we try and focus a lot on cohorts, which are, so let's take an example, right? Startups. We know for a fact that startups are very important to develop countries, and how can a company like Value First play its role is also very vital, because startups will end up communicating with their users. So can I actually give them a little jump start in the beginning. Can I partner with a venture capitalist? Can I partner with a incubation center? Make sure that all their program participants are a part of Value First, in the sense they're using my services, maybe without paying me, or maybe at something that we're both enjoying. So partnerships of these kind is what we get into. One of the you asked me, which is the one that was very interesting for us. So we partnered with Salesforce, and it's one of the world's biggest CRM used by large enterprises, SMEs alike. And to actually give the same experience as we give to users on our platform, to replicate that on Salesforce was a big challenge, because technologically a lot of things are involved, a lot of developments required on either ends. To actually sail that through and serve some of the biggest customers in the world through this particular partnership is something that I'm very happy about.
That's amazing. I think, partnerships are the best way, and rather a very collaborative way for any business to go forward. And for you to be, heading such an important position, I think there is a wealth of insights that our audience can get from you even further up in the podcast.
Yeah.
Let's come back to CPaaS. I want you to explain it further in a way that even the most simplest, say, a student or layman can understand what is CPaaS and how can it add value to a company.
All right. So let's take an example. Would you want to play a game with me?
Sure.
All right. Let's think of a business that you want to start.
Okay. I want to sell makeup online.
Awesome. How do you want to sell makeup online?
I want to have a website.
You want to have a website.
And Instagram and social channels.
Now let's break it down into two different parts. One, how do you want the world to know about your website?
Social media ads.
Sure.
Billboards.
Yeah.
I want the advertising to be very loud, be everywhere basically.
Awesome. So you said social media. Let's imagine an ad on Facebook, on Instagram. You want to run ads because that's what your audience will be relevant.
Yep.
When you click on an ad, usually you go on a website form.
Correct.
I've slightly changed that, CPaaS.
Mm-hmm.
I've brought in something which is called click to WhatsApp ads.
Okay.
The moment I click on this, I would not open a website form which I have to fill. It will open a WhatsApp chatbot for me. It will already know my name and my phone number. So 2 steps are already out.
Done.
I would have already clicked on a particular lipstick. Let's take an example.
Okay.
It'll automatically be opened on my particular phone. I can just order it at 3 a.m. as well in the night.
Amazing.
So that's one touch point. Another one being promotion on other platforms, right? Like email. For example, let's say if there's the National Day coming, you want to send a big promotional notification across your user board. So just use email services. Let them know that, hey, you're running a 20% discount across your services. So that's another touch point. Other side of things, your consumers want to reach out to you. Hey, I placed my order 7 days ago. Nothing's happened. Can you please help me? So you might want to connect them with your customer care for them to fix the issue. Or they want to give you great feedback as well, as an example. So as I said earlier, the bridge between company and the end user is what CPaaS enables. Okay. Communication platform as a service is just a fancy term to it.
Yeah.
Postman. That. Like we can deliver your letter, we can take your letter back and send it back to the company as well. So that's what we're trying to achieve right now.
I think it can't be simpler than that.
Thank you.
You spoke about minimizing touch points by using a CPaaS. Can you elaborate more on that?
All right, let's take your makeup example once again.
Okay.
Good luck with the company though. But what CPaaS can actually do is help you understand your user. The first example that I took, that, hey, Shoury responds better on SMS than email. So that's one intelligence, that only speak to Shoury on SMS. But now that Shoury's already made some transactions with you and you know that he's a fan of hair products, or let's say skin brightening cream, whatever, as an example, and he's not going to engage with lipsticks because he's a male who's living in Sharjah. So there's no point talking to him about lipsticks.
Right.
So instead of saying, hey, Shoury, there's a 25% discount that we're running, check it out. Hey, Shoury, we're running a 20% discount on skin brightening cream. Here's your personal URL. And the moment I click on it, I would have already been logged in, because that's the smart URL I would have used, which will be short in nature. So no username, password required. I would have already been an authenticated user. Privacy also taken care of. I just click add to cart, make a payment because my credit cards are already saved with your platform. I'm done. You're actually bringing Shoury in your funnel where you want him to just make the transaction.
Right.
You don't want me to discover because I already know my favorite product. I just want to restock it. And again, this is just one example. We've done this to sell a car as well. Like, imagine a big investment like car. So it actually automates a lot, and your end user doesn't have to do much.
And you're not just communicating with the customer, you're communicating with them about something they're interested in, which is so important. You bring them directly to the bottom of the funnel. They can't do anything other than just go ahead and purchase. You've done all the work for them.
Precisely. And another example for you, WhatsApp, everyone's using it left, right, center. When you want to call customer care, you're usually very disgruntled that something bad has happened. No one calls and say that, thank you for great service. Unfortunately, the world we live in, right?
Yeah.
What we've actually done is you're speaking to a consumer on your WhatsApp chatbot, right? And you see that the user has started using very negative words. Guys, I'm angry. This is frustrating. My engine will know that this customer's gonna create a ruckus. He or she is not happy with us. So I will right there and then connect them to a live agent.
Okay.
Instead of them having to pick up their phone, calling someone, being on hold. That agent will already know that this particular user has been struggling with issue A and B. This is his history with us. So how do I solve it? Just do a quick conversation, and most of the cases you'll be sorted actually.
If you have an unhappy customer, you're reducing the time that they are frustrated for, and you're turning a negative situation into like customer delight. Like
100%.
You knew before I told you what my issue is.
Yeah,
So
precisely.
while I am upset, you solved it amazingly.
Yeah.
It's a very different industry, CPaaS. Can you tell us what have the challenges been in marketing a product like this?
So simple that most people don't even need an understanding. Like CPaaS is a complex word, but I can tell a child what SMS is or WhatsApp is. They'll know, yeah, we get many of them every day, and what do they do? So we're like silent Batman that way, right? Like we're there, but no one knows. So for us to actually do marketing is actually create differentiators, because what I can do, B can also do. But can I help you send 1 million more SMS in every second? Maybe then I could be better. Can I tell you that my platform is more robust and more secure than others? So for example, the 50 millisecond idea that I gave you, that's a patent that we have, and no one else in the world can actually say a statement like that, because we've actually been able to give results. Also success stories, right? I work with government, I work with banks, I work with e-commerce. So working with banks is a big one, because banks audit us a lot to make sure that the data is safe and secure. We're not doing anything funny. So having those success stories at the back of us, and actually letting another decision maker of that sector know that, hey, we work with ABC and you're XYZ. So, so almost telling them that if you don't work with us, you'll lose onto something. So that's what we try to do. And just conversations otherwise, like as many as possible, to understand their pain points, and can we work with our product teams to already create a feature that we see becoming a problem 6 months from now, and letting them know from different channels from there on.
So if I could summarize it, it would be two things: differentiating yourself in the industry and understanding your customers' pain points is what has helped you differentiate yourself and be successful. Looking at the future, can you tell me about trends that you foresee coming up that would impact your business?
All good things is all I hope and wish for. But I think first one is generative AI as an example. So right now, let's say I want to send a message to 3 million people, but I'm not sure if this content's going to work or not. Can I actually use Gen AI to create a template for me?
Okay.
Can I send a different messaging to people who are 19 to 25 of age, 26 to 34 different? Can I do cohorts and use actually a platform like Gen AI to create stuff for me? Then security, I think that's going to increase even more. We've moved into face IDs, we moved into touch. Passwords are getting very redundant. How can CPaaS enable this movement even more and make the future more privacy and like security led, is something that we're all looking forward to. And I think you already asked me a question on my third point, which is actually omni-channel, multi-channel, and using so many channels, right? Can the engine be so smart that without even you taking an action, already knows that Shoury interacts better with SMS, send him an SMS. You don't even have to think about it. Jenny has already thought of a template and it's reached. And I think the last one will essentially be ease of integration and access. So usually companies would take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I unfortunately don't have the right timeline because every product's different, but can that be reduced to minutes? click on it, authorize, you're sorted. And I think that's going to be a trend that also we'll see in the coming days.
That's great, Shoury. I think these are trends that I think all of us across industries are, keen on exploring and, getting to know more about, which brings me to the end of the podcast. I have only one last question to you. Based on your vast experience in the sector or as a business leader, what is the one piece of advice you would give a new startup coming into any industry, things to keep in mind when you're just off the bat starting a business?
I'd keep it limited to marketing because that's what I think I know a little bit of. And my advice would essentially be the fact that marketing is not only about making someone click on an ad. Marketing is actually about having conversations. Marketing is about inspiring people. And I think as we move forward, there's been a generational shift. And for everyone, marketing is about SEO, ads, clicks, digital.
Right.
Just don't forget conversations and human touches. They're the most important ones. So as long as you're grounded doing that, I think you'll create something great.
Thank you so much. You really went the extra mile flying down for this.
Not at all.
And we're so happy to have you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
To our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to join in next time on Rising Sharjah as we uncover the technologies and leaders driving today's digital transformation. Like I always say, keep rising.